Hey everyone, today's topic, you'll get over them eventually. I wanted to make a video to reassure anyone who's going through a breakup or any form of rejection because we all know it's not fun. It can sometimes be incredibly difficult to go through depending on how strong of feelings you had for that other person. And sometimes even rejection before you even are in a relationship can hurt just the same. Even when you're in the dating phase and they end up ghosting you or not responding to you at some point, or they tell you you're not what they're looking for, they tell you they just want to be friends, even that form of rejection, which isn't even a breakup, even that can be very difficult and painful to go through. So I just wanted to share some tips in this video to help any of you who are in that phase because it's temporary. But when you're going through it, it can feel like it's all you ever have known and all you will know in the future. But that's not true. That's your mind playing tricks on you. Because anytime you're dealing with that pain from being rejected or from someone breaking up with you, it's only ever temporary. It will eventually go away and you will eventually get over that person. Now, here are some things you can use to help yourself get through this period. The first thing I want you to do is, keep reminding yourself that it's temporary because we can often identify with our emotions and it can really hold us back on the healing journey, because if you identify with your emotions too much, they'll kind of be all you know. You can kind of convince yourself into believing you are depressed when maybe you're actually not. Maybe you're just dealing with some sad emotions, but you're not actually depressed, if that makes sense. When we say I am depressed, now we're giving all those emotions power over us because now we are them, right? But if you say I'm just not feeling so great, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling a bit down, notice in that case you're not identifying with the emotions. So you're not giving them that power over you because you're acknowledging they are not you. They're temporary. You'll eventually feel better and they'll go away. So that's one tip I can share with you, is that when you're thinking in your mind or when you're talking to other people, just do not try to identify with the emotions. Don't tell other people like you're a sad person or you're depressed. Just tell them you're feeling those emotions. You're feeling sad, you're feeling a bit depressed, a bit down, but you aren't actually a depressed person or a sad person. That will just be one way you can kind of conquer your mind to make sure that it doesn't get the best of you in this situation. Now, another thing I want you to tell yourself is that it's not all on you. I know this is something many people, especially overthinkers, can do, and I happen to be an overthinker myself, so believe me, I know we often will analyze a situation so much that we think we did something wrong or that we could have done something better. And sometimes that may be true, but even if it is, it's not helpful to constantly be thinking in that way, because here's the thing, whenever there's a relationship or even when you're just in the dating phase with someone, there's two people involved, right? That immediately tells you it's never always going to be all on you, unless that other person you're dating is like a paragon of just good humanity, like they're one of the best people on the planet, they're one of the kindest and most caring, and you by comparison are not, or I don't know. Like that's never going to happen, right? The person you were seeing is probably not as great as you believe them to be, so why are you trying to take it all on you and act like they had or they played no role in it whatsoever? Sometimes our partners aren't as great as we believe. But the only reason I'm saying this, I'm not trying to lower them in your mind. I'm saying it because it will help you not take everything on yourself, not blaming yourself for all of it, because that will rarely ever be the case. I can only think of a few situations where all the blame would be on you, and that's only if you've never taken any time to work on yourself to become a better person, so you're not even aware of your own flaws and insecurities and things like that, and therefore they control you. That's where you could self-sabotage and that sort of thing and not even be aware of it. But most of the people who watch my content, I have noticed they are working on themselves. They are striving to be better people over time. And that tells me there's no way in hell that all of the blame will be on you, because no, man, it's so rare to encounter people who actually strive to become better human beings over time. I'm almost 29 years old. My birthday's right around the corner. And I can tell you, I've met very few people in my life who are actively trying to become better. So if that's the journey you're on, never fully blame yourself for a breakup or rejection or anything like that, because there's just no way in hell it's all on you. I mean, there are so many average people out there nowadays who can't tell when a good thing is in front of them, that there are people out there who could meet like the objectively best partner for them on the planet, and they would reject them still. They would find something wrong with them and they would kick that person out of their life, and then maybe in the future they'd regret it. Maybe not, who knows, but that could happen. So knowing that, just strive to never take things personally, never take all the blame upon yourself. It's rarely ever true, and it's not helpful to think in that way at all. And then another thing I want you to think of, this one may be a bit difficult for you in the here and now, depending on how close you are to the breakup, but I want you to be realistic about your ex or the person who rejected you, because we so often can pedestalize people and make them way better than they actually were. And yet again, that's not helpful, because when doing that, not only are we selling ourselves short in the value that we bring to a relationship, but we're creating these unrealistic expectations and standards for the future. We're thinking nobody will be able to compare to our ex, when that's hardly ever going to be true. Like, even if you met someone amazing, there are always going to be other amazing people out there. There will always be more people for you to choose from, and very likely many who are even better than your ex was. And I'm not saying that to make you buy into the delusion of having unlimited partners to choose from, but there is almost always someone better. So I just want you to remind yourself of that. The only problem in that case is, of course, meeting those people, but it can happen. You just have to be more conscious about where you try to find them. Obviously, if you're looking for people who work on themselves, you probably don't want to go to bars or nightclubs, because that's not exactly the kind of environments that attract people who do that. So just things like that. It's important to be realistic. Maybe realize your partner wasn't as great as you believed. Be a bit more logical in analyzing them, noticing their flaws, and maybe even some red flags they had. So that way, you'll, one, be better educated in the future of what things to look out for, but two, you're just going to bring them back down to reality. So you're not pedestalizing them and thinking you'll never find someone like them, or that they were way better than you are, because that's often not quite going to be the case, especially if, as I mentioned earlier, you do take the time to work on yourself. So yeah, I mean, we so often just kind of think ourselves into all these traps and pitfalls that aren't helpful. I mean, really, when you're going through a breakup or a rejection, you want to be able to conquer your mind in those moments, because your mind can be your own worst enemy and completely get the best of you. I mean, I've been there. I'm speaking from experience. It took me a long time to get to where I'm at, where this isn't such an issue for me. But even now, there's still times where I have to kind of work through that old conditioning and remind myself that I bring a lot to the table. And even if a woman is beautiful, that doesn't mean that she's better than me or any crap like that. In fact, I struggle to find women who are actually very attractive and simultaneously work on themselves. So yeah, when I do meet them, it can be a bit difficult to not pedestalize them, but I just try to remind myself that, hey, there's still plenty of other women out there like this one. And even if she seems great, who knows what skeletons are in her closet? You have to get to know them better until you find out those things. And yeah, so it's just helpful to be a bit more realistic, to remind yourself of what you bring to the table so that you know your self-worth, and just keep telling yourself that these emotions that you're going through from the breakup, they're only ever temporary. You're not going to feel that way forever. And at some point you will get over your ex. Just make sure you don't try to get over them by running into the arms of other people, because that's really unhealthy, sometimes even toxic, and it's not going to solve the problem at all. What you want to do is just feel those emotions, but not act on them. Feel that pain, maybe even feel that desire to reach out to them, but don't act on it. And that's the important thing. It's okay to feel the way you feel, but don't act on it. That wouldn't be okay, right? Like, if you feel that desire to reach out to them and talk to them, it's one thing to feel that. It's another thing entirely to act on it. And acting on it may not be the smartest thing for you to do, especially if your ex is manipulative or that sort of thing. Like, they can really just get you into a bad place where they basically are able to control you. So the whole goal when you're going through a breakup is to put yourself first and work on yourself, to keep making yourself better and overall making your life better. And then go from there. And at some point over time, through that conscious healing, you will be able to eventually get over your ex and hopefully meet someone far better than they were. So there you go. That's pretty much the gist of what I wanted to talk about in this video. I really hope that this was helpful for you, but please leave your comments in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know if you have other pieces of advice for people, because I did not cover everything. There's so much more out there that can be helpful for this, but I just wanted to tackle the mindset side of it, because to me, that really is the most important thing. And you just want to get to a place where you're able to conquer your mind so that it's not steering you in the wrong direction and kind of mastering you, because it can easily do that when we're going through those heavy emotions. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. And if you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci.